Hello, Maestra Katia and Licenciada Diana. Today I will be talking about the experience that I had in my teaching practice during this last semester. Well, let me tell you, and at the same time, answer the first question, which is, did you feel prepared in each of the classes you taught? Explain. My first day as an English teacher was impromptu. I did not have the material to prepare myself, but deep down, the confidence and emotion told me that everything was going to be fine. I mean, I did some activities for the students, but as I entered the classroom in Google Meets, I started sweating and got very nervous. The truth is that being a teacher for the first time was not that bad as I had thought, but it also was the preparedness that I had been taught throughout my career from great teachers. However, from the first moment I had students in front of me, I was able to realize the true responsibility that I now had in my hands, and I was going to do my best. I think that yes, I met the goals that I had hoped to achieve during the two classes that I taught. I used in my class these methods and strategies. The first one of visualization. I used some images and games so the students could better understand the activities being done that day. The second one, cooperative learning. I think that this one is very important because through verbally expressing their ideas and responding to others, the students will develop their self-confidence as well as enhance their communication and critical thinking skills, which are vital throughout life. The third one, inquiry-based instruction. I asked them thought-provoking questions which inspire students to think for themselves and become more independent learners. Also, that encourages students to ask questions and investigate their own ideas, and it helps improve their problem-solving skills as well as gain a deeper understanding of academic concepts. And the last one is technology in the classroom. I used different methods using online games and activities so the students would not get bored during the 45-minute class. I called each student every day to see how they were following up on the homework that I had given them, and they would ask me for some help during the call. The first assessment that I did was in the first class. I integrated an activity using the alphabet to see and hear how they managed to say the letters of the alphabet and to hear how they articulated each word. I did that to assess how and what types of activities to do for them for the next class. I prepare each content with a time frame so as to be on time with each activity and manage the time for the class to be developed. There was a certain difference between the first class and the second class. For me, I was more relaxed and could concentrate better as I had already gotten to know my students. As for the content, it was much better because I knew in which level they were in, and so it made it easier for me to teach the class. When I first met with my students at their house, I told them that, like them, I too was sitting in the classroom one day. I'm not more nor a better person because even though I can speak better English than them and that I don't know many other things in which they are surely the experts, I also asked each one about their motivation in learning English and wrote down the answers. Getting a better job, studying in another country, traveling, etc. All this to show them that we were all there for common reasons and that we could help each other through respect and participation. We all have fear of learning a language, fear that others would think of our accent, our intonation, and the poor vocabulary with which we express ourselves. Fear of not being understood, or of the little patience of our receivers. And it will happen. We will be wrong, but it will be the only way to learn. In the same way, I was clear that English is not my first language, and that even though I have studied and spoken it for years, I still make mistakes, and some things are difficult for me. In this way, I explained to them that, like them, I would also be wrong, and if it happened, they had every right to correct me. If there is something that I learned during these months in the practica docente course, it was that teaching is not easier than any other job. During those days as a teacher, there were days when I had to put my personal problems and concerns aside to do my best in class. Sometimes I did better than others, but I could always see that my students responded to what I had to offer. If I was at 60% of my capacity, then they gave me their 60%. If I gave them 200%, they gave me 200%. My deepest respect to all teachers who understand this and strive daily to do their best despite difficulties. This is something that I had already read, but had the opportunity to feel it and see it with my eyes. Some people have better language skills. Some learn faster than others because of their level of concentration and their liking for what they are taught and the way it is taught. In this way, not everyone learns in the same way. So, as language teachers, should we teach the love for the language to a greater extent than the importance of it? Or rather, should we understand that not everyone has the same motivation to learn, and therefore their learning curve will be different? I think both cases are correct, but I think that patience is the key to everything. In that sense, I would like to thank both of you, Miss Katia and Miss Diana, for the patience that you have had with me. I think you both know the struggles that I've been going through these past weeks, and having to do so much in so little was the hardest thing for me at that specific time. Thank you. Thank you for your understanding and for your advices and for being the teachers that everyone hopes to find once in a lifetime. Much blessing to you both.